Everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Judy Lee and we're here to do a pick a card reading for today. So if you haven't done a pick a card reading before, you simply just need to choose either the card that resonates with you, or otherwise I'll show you the crystals and then you can select based on the crystal that resonates with you. So just in terms of the cards, we've got group 1 here, group 2 here, and group 3 here. So see if any of those are calling to you. Otherwise, if you want to choose by crystal, then we've got this lovely, well, I can't quite remember the name of it anymore, but I got it many years ago and I think it comes from Africa somewhere. But it's double pointed and it actually has some water in it, which I don't think you'll probably be able to see. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to show it, but anyway, it's a lovely crystal. I don't really like this one. So that's for group 1. Then we've got a tumblestone rose quartz for group 2. And then we've got a geode. So this is just where one half of the stone has been, one stone has been cut into two, and so this is one half of it. So make your selection based on what resonates with you, and once you've done that, then click on the timestamp in the description box below and you'll be able to see what your reading is. I'll see you soon. Bye. Hi group 1, welcome to your reading. So let's see what your message is for this week. So just going to turn this card around. This is the Angel Feather Oracle deck, by the way. This one here. And you know, even if you know, whatever your belief system is around angels, for me, I just love feathers. I find that feathers just I don't know, they have some connection with something of the spiritual world, and it always gives me a good feeling when I see them generally quite a lot. But if you do see a feather, and especially if it's white and you know in very good condition, then take it as a sign that you're on the right track. So your message for today, show a friend you care today. And so it's basically saying understand the importance of friendship and ask that you make an effort today to remind a friend how loved they are. So for me, what this is saying is, yes, it could be that you have a friend that perhaps you would, you know, it'd be nice to connect with or to show that person that you care. But when I pick this card, I kind of take it as actually, you know, how can you be a great friend to yourself today? How can you show yourself the care that you would actually show to a really good friend of yours? Because often it's so easy somehow to be able to give that love to others, you know, to a good friend, to share all those wonderful things. But when it comes to ourselves, sometimes it can be really hard. It's almost, you know, perhaps it feels indulgent or it feels strange, but actually our relationship with ourselves is the most important relationship that we'll ever have. And when we have a good relationship with ourselves, then this will enable us to have great relationships with others. So it's really important, if you haven't already started that journey, to start to develop that relationship with yourself, and you know, to really ask yourself, you know, how am I treating myself? Do I treat myself like I would my good friend? And if that's not happening for you at the moment, then you know, it's not to feel bad or to feel ashamed about that. It's more, you know, when you're able to acknowledge what's not working, this gives you the ability to change it. It's when things are left unconscious, that it, you know, it operates us, or it operates us unconsciously basically. But once you can acknowledge how you really feel, what's really happening in your life, this is when amazing changes can happen. So that is a strong message for today, about really being a good friend to yourself. And if you are doing that, then that's really great. And maybe this is just a reminder to say, well, what else can you do to really treat yourself well? And doesn't necessarily have to be in the sense of something major or something big. It could be something like taking a break when you're tired, or having a nap in the afternoon, or making yourself a hot chocolate. Or even just, the main thing really for me is, how do you talk to yourself? Do you encourage yourself when things are feeling hard? Do you support yourself when you're feeling sad or low? Just think about those things and keep it in your mind, or in your energy field this week. So let's see, I'm just going to shuffle the tarot cards to see what other messages there are. So what messages are there for group 1? Messages, here we are, messages for group 1. Messages, I just want one more card, please. Oh, okay, we've got 2. All right, you're the lucky group. You get to have 4 tarot cards. Rightio. So let's just pull this out. I'm just going to shift this along. Yes, you might think I'm quite pedantic with the cards, but it allows me time to just connect with them as well. So that's always a good thing. So, right. And just at the bottom of the deck you had the Wheel of Fortune. So what this card means is that it's almost things are happening as they're meant to. It's destiny, it's fate, that type of thing. So there's something about that energy in this reading. So what we've got here is someone who's juggling 2 pentacles. So this is about, perhaps you're juggling, you're feeling a bit stressed, a bit like when I see the water, it's like up and down emotions at the moment. So perhaps life feels like a bit of a juggling act, and you're having some ups and downs. And then we've got the 6 of Swords, and the swords are about ideas, our thoughts and things like that. So it represents moving from a challenging period, because you've got the choppy waters there, into calmer waters. So it's a sign that things are moving on, So if you were feeling a bit pulled in many ways, or unsure about what to do, feeling a bit up and down, things are moving into a better period, more peace. And then we've got Justice, which is about, it can be about legal things, but it can also be about balance, so bringing things back into balance. And which is interesting, because it's in line with this week's energy reading, which I'll put in the description box as well, so take a look at that. But yeah, there's something about coming to balance here. And then you've got the Empress, and the Empress is someone who, you just look, she's in her space, she's comfortable, she knows, she's abundant, fertile in, not necessarily a physical sense, but just everything is there waiting for her. So just pulling this together, if I go back to what we started with, which is about showing a friend that you care today, and being your best friend. It's about, if you're going through a period at the moment where things are challenging, know that things are moving forward, and it's about bringing balance into your life. You know, what areas of your life are out of balance? Are you giving yourself breaks when you need to? Are you treating yourself well, or are you pushing yourself to the extreme, you know, being hard on yourself, those type of things? And so, you know, if you are being, you know, if it feels that you are being hard on yourself, or that, you know, there's almost that energy of like, I've got to do better, I've got to, you know, just be easy on yourself. Know that things are moving forward, and, you know, in the best way possible and in perfect timing. And so you just have to, you know, bring your energy into that space where you're feeling good, because when you're feeling good, that's when things start to change. Whereas when, you know, you're feeling that life is hard and challenging, then it's hard to allow all that creativity to come into your life. So just for this week, give yourself a break, be easy on yourself, allow yourself to find balance in your life, and to just relax and just trust that everything is coming together, because it is, it really is. And sometimes we just need to be reminded of that. So I hope you like your reading, Group 1. Let me know if you do, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hi, Group 2. Welcome to your reading. Let's see what the message for you this week is. Just going to pick up this card. So you've got treat yourself. The angels ask that you take some time out purely for yourself today. Rejuvenate your soul. So, you know, depending on your belief system, just ignore the angel part, or, you know, the main message really is about taking some time out for yourself today and treating yourself well, which is very similar to Group 1. So if you were undecided between Group 1 and 2, or perhaps anyway, just take a look at Group 1, because I think there might be a message for you in there as well. So yes, for you this week, it really is about taking some time out for yourself and treating yourself well. It's so easy to get caught up in, you know, firstly our headspace, if we're sitting in front of the computer all day at work, to really, there's almost a disconnection that happens between our minds and our hearts and body. So it's really important to go outside and connect with nature, because when we do, that's when we, you know, nature is such a beautiful thing. We connect with that natural energy that really rejuvenates our soul, and I love it. I just find that I feel so much calmer when I go out and look at the trees and the grass and just that amazing colour that, you know, nature provides. So really give yourself that space this week. Let's see what the other cards, I'm going to pull out some tarot to see what else, what other messages might be there for you. Okay, so what other messages? Oh, there's a lot going on. I'm just going to take the cards that have appeared upright. They kind of just jumped out, didn't they? Okay, so we've got the King of Swords, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Eight of Pentacles. And then I haven't been doing this, but I like to look at what's at the bottom of the deck, and we've got the Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning in taking action, or a new project, that type of thing. So, and it's interesting because you've got the Ace of Pentacles here as well, which is about a new beginning in creating something or manifesting something in the physical. So there could be something this week about new beginnings, or about creating something new in your life, in a new way. So just keep that in mind. So then we've got the King of Swords. So this is someone, the swords represent our ideas, our thoughts, our beliefs. He's someone who knows quite well what he's thinking, what he's believing. he's sitting there on his throne, and you can see that he's fairly confident about where he is. And then the Ace of Pentacles, like I mentioned earlier, is about new beginnings, about manifesting things into the physical. So perhaps if you've been thinking, you've had an idea about where you want to go, you've come to that point where you've thought things through and you're really clear now about where you want to go, then this is a great time to start bringing it into the physical, to start taking steps to making it a reality. And then we've got the Eight of Pentacles, which is about, well, as you can see, the Pentacles could represent finances, but it's also about bringing things into our physical reality as well. So he's someone who's working hard to make his future, or to earn his living, that type of thing. So it's about putting in the effort to create what it is that you want. So I'm just going to take a moment just to see what else is coming through. I feel like what it's saying is, if you've been thinking about a new idea, or you've been unsure about where you're going, it's almost like needing to take this time out to really feel into what it is or where you want to go. Because a lot of the time we're so busy, we're so, I remember when I used to work in the corporate world, and how much pride people had, and myself included at the time, about being busy, and I worked until 11 o'clock that night, and just how it was considered a good thing. Whereas these days, that's not how I think at all. And so, when we're constantly busy, it actually doesn't allow us the time to really consider what it is that we want in our lives. And for that reason, a lot of people do stay busy, because it's, in quotation marks, almost easier to be busy than to take time to really think about what it is, to take time to think what isn't working. Sometimes facing up to those things can be really challenging, and it can be almost easier, to avoid it, or to just, put it in the back of our minds. But the message for you this week is really, if there is something that is, brewing for you, that is, something that you do need to consider, then really take that time out. And when you do take that time out, do it in a kind way. It's not about beating yourself up and saying, oh, why can't I think about what I need to do next, why is this not working out? But actually it's taking time out in a way that treats yourself well. So putting the when we're feeling great, when we're feeling grateful for life as well, feeling filled up, this is when the great ideas come to us. This is when intuition has the space to rise up within us. So it really is important to be able to take that time to really just relax and rest, and give yourself that space, take that pressure off. It's amazing how much pressure we put on ourselves these days, and it's just like we seem to have more and more every day, like there's another thing that we need to do, and things like that. But ask yourself if you can give yourself permission to just let it go for this week, where you can start to treat yourself really well, and imagine that you're your best friend. And what would your best friend say to you? Would they be saying, oh, you're doing really badly this week, you need to do better, and you're rubbish at this? Yeah, if that's the way your best friend speaks to you, I'd probably consider finding a new one. But in all seriousness, yeah, it's almost like these new things are waiting to happen. You know, clarity of thought, a new beginning in the physical, and then, you know, working hard to get what it is that you really want. These things are all waiting for you, but they require time. They require time for you to receive the messages or the ideas that you need in order to move forward. So for you this week, the message is really take that time out and look after yourself and give yourself a break from all this other pressure, and then just see what comes to you. So I hope you like your reading group too, and that it resonates. Please comment if it does, and yeah, I'd love to hear from you really about what your thoughts are. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye-bye. Hi group 3, welcome to your reading. Let's see what the message is for you this week. Okay, so we've got full circle. Acknowledge and applaud the wonderful effort you have put in. You are transforming from an ordinary human into a spiritual being. So, firstly, if you don't believe in angels and those type of things, just ignore that wording. Basically, the message is about rewards. You've done the work, and now is the time to really reward yourself for what you have achieved. To acknowledge yourself where perhaps it's kind of been forgotten. For example, for myself, I know that once I've completed a project, I'm normally on to the next thing, and I don't really spend much time thinking about what I've achieved, what I've done well. I know I need to do that, but sometimes it gets forgotten because I'm so busy wanting to move on to the next thing. And so this is just a reminder to look at what you've done well. It doesn't matter if you're in the middle of a project and you feel like you don't deserve to acknowledge that or be rewarded. No, this card is, or the message is saying that reward or acknowledge what you've done so far. Acknowledge how far you've come. If it's not a project, just acknowledge how far you've come from 5 years ago. What has changed, and what have you done, and how have you grown? These are really important things to acknowledge in yourself, because it builds that better relationship with yourself as well. You can imagine if you have a child who's learning, and then you don't really encourage them or give them the acknowledgement of what they've done. It kind of, they lose motivation, because kind of, well, what am I doing this for? So think about that for yourself, because if you can appreciate what you're doing and how far you've come, then that would just motivate you to do even more, or it doesn't have to be more in the quantity sense, but just to keep going, really. So that seems to be the message for you this week. So let's just shuffle the tarot and see what else comes out. So what other messages are there for group 3? What other messages are there for group 3? Okay, and then let's see if there's one more coming up. I think this one wants to come up. I kind of have my own way of shuffling, which is quite different to other tarot readers, as you'll see. Right, so so for you, group 3, you have a lot of cups in your reading. So at the bottom of the deck, because I've done it for the other groups, I'll do it for you as well. You've got the Knight of Cup here, and the cup represents our emotions, and generally the Knight of Cups is about bringing a message of love. I guess a lot of tarot readers associate with romantic love, but I tend to think of it in the general sense. So there's love coming forward for you. And so just reading the rest of the cards, you've got the Tower. And so the Tower looks quite scary, doesn't it? But basically it's about our foundations being rocked, or when something isn't working in our lives anymore, we often need something like this to happen for our, to shake our foundation so that we can start anew. So perhaps, something is happening in your life where you're starting to question, where you're at. Is this what I really want? Is this the path that I want to take? And, if you're at that stage, just know that it's happening for a reason. It's not because the universe or life is cruel. It's just because you've got better things waiting for you. And if you'd kept going on that same path, you just, life would be very ordinary and quite boring, and I'm guessing that your growth would be quite stunted. Whereas this is saying that it's time for change. Something, it's time to reevaluate where you are, where you're going, because, there's so many good things waiting for you. And so we've got the Ace of Cups, which is, the ace represents new beginning. So new beginning in your emotions, in the love around you, in, those type of things, which is lovely, really. I love the image. So there's a new beginning waiting for you. And then you've got the Page of Cups, and this is again, like the page is the first card in the court card deck, or not in the court card deck, the first card in the court cards. So you've got the Page, and you've got the Knight, then you've got the Queen, and then you've got the King. So it's saying that you're starting with this new beginning, and then that will just continue to grow. That's your path for it to continue to grow like that. And it's very interesting because at the bottom of the deck you did have the Knight of Cups. So this is about bringing more love into your life. There's more love to be had for you, and to also feel into your emotions, because we've got just being, it's the fish that is, or the fishes, or the fish that are standing out for me. And this is about getting in touch with your emotions as well, and just being aware of them, because our emotions are so powerful. And we aren't our emotions, but they help to guide us as well once we have gotten to grips with the process of acknowledging them and accepting them. Initially, at first, if you're not used to being with your emotions, it can be quite challenging. And if that's the case, then find someone who can help you to deal with them and to learn to accept them in a loving way, rather than to be afraid of them, because it's such an important part of life to be able to do that. Because once we are able to be with our emotions, we can allow our intuition and that power, what I call our superpower, to guide us, because we are in tune with ourselves. So allow yourself to feel and be with what's there. And so if I just bring this together, it's about acknowledging how far you've come, acknowledging what you've done in life, and really appreciating yourself, and maybe thinking, what are you grateful for? Because when we do that, we allow ourselves to move into this space of really being loving towards ourselves, but also loving to others. And the more loving that we can be with ourselves, this relationship with ourselves is so important, because it allows that to be reflected by others as well. It's just, yeah, the natural, I don't know if it's a natural law of life, but what we do for ourselves generally gets reflected on the outside. When we're loving to ourselves, we start to see more of that being reflected by others around us. So yes, the main message is to acknowledge where you've come so far, and if things are being rocked or feeling shaken around you, just know that it's because there are new things waiting for you, and to be with those emotions and just allow them to be there and seen, so that you can move on and start to connect with your intuition. So I hope that resonates with you, group 3, and do let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you soon.